Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss major topics covered in very first module, that is introduction, what is an algorithm, algorithm specification and analysis framework. Then start our discussion with introduction of algorithm. The word algorithm comes from the name of Persian author Abu Jafar Muhammad Musa, who wrote a textbook on mathematics. This word has been on a special significance in computer science, where algorithm has come to refer to a method that can be used by a computer for the solution of a problem. See, what is an algorithm? An algorithm is a finite set of instructions that, if followed, accomplish a particular task. In addition, all algorithms must satisfy the following criteria. First one, input. Every algorithm has 0 or more quantities are externally supplied. Output, at least one quantity is produced from each algorithm. Definiteness, each instruction is clear and ambiguous. Finiteness, after tracing all instructions in algorithm, the algorithm terminates after a finite number of steps. And finally, effectiveness, every instruction must be very basic so that it can be carried out in principle by a person using only pencil and paper. Also, each operation must feasible. Next, we can discuss what are the algorithm specifications. Before we discuss what is the pseudocode conventions, algorithm can be described using many ways. First example, we are using graphic representation, also called as flowcharts, or another possibility, but they work very well only if the algorithm is small and simple. In the text, we present most of our algorithms using a pseudocode that resembles C program. First one is, the every algorithm should begin with a comment line represented by double slash and continue until the end of line. Second one is, blocks are indicated with matching braces. All the code or the statements are included within opening brace and closing braces. The third one is, an identifier begins with a letter. The data types of variables are not explicitly declared. All the variables or data types are used as and when required in your algorithm or application. Fourth one is, assignment of a variable. Assignment of a values to variables is done using the assignment statement, like variable equal to expression. Then Boolean values, true and false, logical operators and, or, and, not, relational operators less than, greater than, equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, etc. are provided or used in algorithm. Elements of multidimensional arrays are accessed using square bracket, and array indicates array indices start at 0. Then for looping statements, for while and repeat until looping statements are provided. The syntax for while loop is, while condition do include all the executable statements within the opening and closing brace. Similarly, syntax for loop is, starts with keyword as a for, variable equal to value 1 to value 2, step do include again all the executable statements within the opening and closing brace of for loop. Next one is pseudocode conventions. Then another looping statements, conventional statement we are using, called as a repeat until statement, and is constructed as follows. Use keyword as a repeat, include all the executable statements, use the until keyword and followed by condition. These statements are repeatedly executed until and unless some condition is true. Then the next conventional conditional statements we are including or using throughout this algorithm. First one is called as a simple if statement, if condition then executable statement. Another one is if condition then executable statement, else the false statement. Next one is a case statement followed by case. If the condition 1, the statement 1 will be executed. Similarly, n number of statements are executed, and if no case value matches, the default statement will be executed. This is the syntax how to include or how to use case statement in an algorithm. The next important is called as input and output. Most of the algorithms deal with the input and output statements. Then here input and output are done using some instruction. Usually we are using read and write methods. And last one is an algorithm consists of a heading and a body as the algorithm name followed by a parameter list, and most of the time the algorithm has the empty parameter list. Then here is one typical example of algorithm that is designed by using all the above pseudocode conventions. That is, this is an algorithm to find out the maximum array element in the given array. That starts with the keyword as a algorithm followed by algorithm name as a max, and it has two parameters. The first one is a represents array and n represents array size, and n represents number of elements into given array A. Then next you have to say result is equal to a of n. Initially you don't know which is the maximum element in the given array, so you have to initialize the very first element itself as the largest element, that is result equal to a of 1. Then for I equal to 2 to n do repeatedly perform. If a of I is greater than result, then result equal to a of I. This is then a comparison, and by this you will realize which is the largest element in the given array, and finally return the result, and result consists the largest element or maximum element in the given array. Then next example we can discuss the very interesting example of algorithms called as recursive algorithms. The previous algorithm we discussed is a traditional algorithm that will be called only once, and all the instructions are executed only once into that given algorithm. But there are some special type of algorithms called as recursive algorithm. Then what is the recursive algorithm or a recursive function? A recursive function is a function that is defined in terms of itself. An algorithm that calls itself is directive recursive algorithm, and algorithm is said to be an indirect recursive if it calls another algorithm which in turns calls A. Then generally we can say recursive algorithm or a function which calls itself again and again until some condition is true, and once the condition become false, the recursive algorithm terminates. Here is one best example of recursive algorithm called as Tower of Hanoi example. Then in this Tower of Hanoi example, what is the problem statement for Towers of Hanoi example? You are given one tower with n number of disks called as the source tower. Then you have to move all the disks from the source tower to the destination tower by moving one disk at a time, and also there is a condition, you at any time or any moment you are not supposed to place any disk on the disk that is larger than the previous one. Then this is a condition, this is a condition we are using every time we are moving, possible to move only one disk from one tower to the destination tower, and also it is not possible to place the disk that has the highest weight or the highest weightage compared to the lowest disk. This is the trick we are using. Then here is an possible algorithm for Towers of Hanoi. As the algorithm Towers of Hanoi, inputs are n, x, y, z, where n is the number of disks we need to consider, x, y, and z are the towers. Then move the top n disk from tower x to tower y, where x is the source tower and y is the destination tower, and z we are using as the temporary tower or the intermediate tower to perform this disk movement from one tower to another tower. Then here if n is greater than or equal to 1, then if the number of disks are greater than or equal to 1, then you have to make call to this recursive function as Towers of Hanoi n minus 1 comma x, z, y, and write move top disk from tower x to top of tower y. Then again you have to make call to Towers of Hanoi n minus 1 comma z comma y comma x. This is function you are calling recursively. Here we are calling Towers of Hanoi function, and within this again we are making call to the same function as Towers of Hanoi and Towers of Hanoi. This is an example of a recursive algorithm. You are making call to the function again and again. Next we discuss analysis framework of algorithm. There are two kinds of efficiencies used for performing analysis of algorithm, that is time and space. Then time efficiency indicates how fast an algorithm in question runs, and the space efficiency deals with the extra space the algorithm requires to complete its execution. Third one is measuring an input's size. Almost all algorithms run longer on larger inputs. For example, it takes longer to sort larger arrays, multiply larger matrices, and so on. Then the units for measuring running time. Measuring an algorithm's running time simply can use a standard unit as seconds, milliseconds, and so on, but practically to identify the most important operation of the algorithm called the basic operation, the operation contributing the most to the total running time, and compute the number of times the basic operation is executed. Hence we can estimate T of n equal to C operation C of n, where T of n is running time of program, C operation be the execution time of an algorithm's basic operation on particular computer, and C of n be the number of times the basic operation needs to be executed for this algorithm. Some of the algorithms are based on worst case efficiency, best case efficiency, and average case efficiency. Then for example, sequential searching is best analyzed using worst case, best case, and average case efficiency. Then the worst case efficiency of an algorithm is its efficiency for the worst case input of size n, which is an input of size for which the algorithm runs the longest among all possible inputs of that size. For example, C worst of n equal to n, that is the number of times the algorithm runs equal to the input size n. And the example is, if the key element is found at the last position of the given array, then the algorithm runs longest for the input size n. Then the best case efficiency for the sequential searching is of an algorithm is its efficiency for the best case input of size n, which is an input of the size for which the algorithm runs the fastest among all possible inputs of that size. For example, C best of n for the sequential search is equal to 1, that is the key element is found at the beginning of the array, or the key element itself is the first element in the given array, that is C best of n equal to 1. And the average case efficiency for the sequential search is the key element is found somewhere middle in the given array. That's why the equation for C average of n equal to P of n plus 1 divided by 2 plus n into 1 minus P, where n is the input size and P is the probability to found key element in the given array, and 1 minus P is the unsuccessful search, that is key element is not found in the array. Important point we discussed called as performance analysis of an given algorithm. The major goal of this subject is to develop skills for making evaluative judgment about the algorithm. There are many criteria upon which we judge algorithm. First one is, does it do what we want it to do? Second one, does it work correctly according to the original specification of the task? Third one is there documentation that describes how to use it and how it works? Fourth one is, are procedures created in such a way that they perform logical sub-functions? And last one is the code readable? There are other important criteria for judging algorithms that have more direct relationship to performance. One is called as space complexity, also called as storage requirement, and another one is called as time complexity, called as computing time. Other than these criteria, the very important and two major criteria we consider to analyze the performance of any given algorithm is called as space complexity, and another one is called as time complexity. Then let us discuss what is the space complexity, or the space complexity is called as the storage requirement to complete the execution of given algorithm. The space complexity of an algorithm is the amount of memory it needs to run to completion. The space needed is the sum of fixed part and variable part, where fixed part is independent of characters of the inputs and outputs. It includes instruction space, space for code, space for simple variables, and fixed size component variables. Then the space for constants, etc. Then the variable part consists of the space needed by component variables whose size is dependent on the particular problem instance being solved, and the space needed by the reference variables and recursion stack space. Finally, we conclude the space requirement SP of any given algorithm P may therefore be written as the space complexity of given program P equal to C plus SP, where C is the constant and SP is the instance characteristics that takes the amount of memory to complete its execution. Next, we discuss the time complexity of given algorithm, or it is called as computing time, or how much time algorithm takes to comes to its completion. The time complexity of an algorithm is the amount of computer time it needs to run to completion. The time TP taken by a program P is the sum of the compile time and the run time or execution time. The compile time does not depend on the instance characteristics, hence we concerned with just the runtime of a program. The runtime is denoted by TP, that is instance characteristics. We can use one simple technique to know how much time an algorithm takes to comes to its to complete its execution. It is called as step count technique. Then here we have considered one algorithm called as algorithm sum, and that will make the addition of all the array elements, and we can apply the step count for this array addition. Then here algorithm sum input is array A and the array size as a n. Then initially sum equal to 0, then for I equal to 1 to n2, sum s is equal to s plus a of I, and finally return the sum value. This is a simple algorithm to make the addition of all the array elements. Then now we have to apply the step count for this array addition. Then next column represent a statement or a executable statement or a expression in an algorithm. 0 indicates that is not an executable statement or expression in an algorithm, and 1 indicates that is an executable statement or expression in the algorithm. Then next column represent frequency. Frequency indicates how many times that executable statement executed in the algorithm, and the final column represent the total steps, how many times the statement or the expression will be executed in the algorithm. Then first we can list out here the statement or expression, executable statement or expression in the given algorithm. Then algorithm sum A of n is not an executable statement, that's why its value is 0. Opening brace, this is also not an executable statement, its value is 0. S is equal to 0.0, it is an initialization and it is the executable statement or expression in the given array or in the given algorithm, that's why its value is 1. Then for I is equal to 1 to n do, this is an executable statement or expression, that's why it is 1. S is equal to s plus a of I, this is also an expression or a statement, that's why it is 1. And finally return result, this is an executable statement, its value is 1. And finally closing brace, this is not an executable statement or expression, its value is 0. Then next you have to count the frequency, how many times all the executable statements or expressions executed in this algorithm. Then here being a 0, frequency is dash. Here also this is not an executable statement, that's why frequency is dash, and the last statement also is not an executable statement, its frequency is dash. And here you have to count the frequency, that is s equal to this an initialization will be executed only once, that's why frequency count is 1. Then this for loop will be executed n plus 1 times, because n plus 1 additional time is required to terminate the for loop, that's why it will be executed n plus 1 times. Then s is equal to s plus a of I, this is an expression or the summation expression, this will be executed n times, and finally return the result, that will be executed only once. These are the some frequency that indicates how many times these statements will be executed in the given algorithm. that is initialization only once and the return statement only once. Then for loop n plus 1. Why it is n plus 1? Because one additional time we need to check the condition to terminate the for loop, and for n time to make a summation, that is s is equal to s plus a of I. Next column is the total steps count. Then for first one it is 0, second one it is 0, then third one is the step count is it executed only once, that is it takes 1 unit of time, that's why it is 1. Then this for loop takes n plus 1 time of unit time to complete its execution, that's why it is n plus 1. Then this summation takes the n unit time, and again the return statement takes the 1 unit time for to complete its execution. This is called as the total step count. Now make the addition, that is 1 plus n plus 1 plus n plus 1, you will get the equation as 2n plus 3, and this is the time complexity. 2n plus 3 is the time complexity for the given algorithm to make the addition of all the array elements, where n is the input size or n is the number of elements in the given array. For this given algorithm, 2n plus 3 is the time complexity. Let us discuss another example of two matrix addition and count its and to calculate its time complexity using step count method. Then here is an given algorithm to make a addition of two matrices. As algorithm, addition of two matrices A, B and C are matrices, and M and N are the size of a given matrix, or you can say it is an M by N matrix. A and B are the input matrices and C is the resultant matrix. Then A, B, C and M and N are the input parameters for this matrix addition algorithm add. Then for I is equal to 1 to M do, and for J is equal to 1 to N do, C of Ij resultant matrix equal to A of Ij plus B of Ij. This is a simple algorithm to make a two matrix addition and stored result into a resultant matrix as C of Ij. Next column, first you have to identify which are the executable statements or expressions and which are not executable statements or expressions. Then by observing this given algorithm, you can easily realize which is the executable statement and which are not executable statements. Then first one is making call to the algorithm is not an executable statement, make it as a 0. Next one is opening brace, its value is it is not an executable statement, its value is 0. Similarly, the closing brace, it is not an executable statement and its value is 0. Then next comes to an for loop. For I is equal to 1 to M, and this is an executable statement. One of the executable statement or expression in this algorithm makes it value 1. Then for J is equal to 1 to N do, this is also an executable statement or a expression in the given algorithm, makes it as a 1. And C of Ij equal to A of Ij plus B of Ij. This is also an one of the expression or a executable statement in an algorithm, make it as a 1. This second column indicates which are the executable statements or expressions in the given algorithm. In the next column, you have to find out or calculate the frequency, how many times the executable statements or expressions executed in the given algorithm. Count the frequency. For first and second statement, frequency is dash because those are not executable expressions. For I is equal to 1 to M do, this for loop will be executed M plus 1 time. This will be executed M time, and plus 1 is the additional time to know when to terminate or how to terminate the for loop, or when the for loop become false, the condition become false, it will be terminated. That's why the additional time required is frequency is M plus 1. Similarly, for J is equal to 1 to N do, this for loop will be executed basically N plus 1 time, that is N time, and the additional 1 time to know the terminating condition for this for loop. And again this will be executed within the outer loop as a M. That's why the frequency for this for loop is M into N plus 1. Then the next one is the C of Ij equal to A of Ij plus B of Ij. This is an expression that actually makes the addition of matrix A with matrix B and stored into a resultant matrix C, and this will be executed M into N times. For every value of M and N, it will make the addition once. That's why it will be executed M into N times. This is the frequency. And the last one is it is not the closing brace is not an executable statement. That's why its frequency is dash. Then the next consider the very last column called as total steps. Then total steps for first one is 0, second one is 0. Then the total steps for this for loop I is equal to 1 to m2 is m plus 1. Then for j is equal to 1 to n2 is mn plus m. Just simplify this, mn plus m, and the total steps for c of ij equal to mn, and make the addition of m plus 1 plus mn plus m plus mn. You will get 2mn plus 2m plus 1. This is the time complexity of the algorithm to make the addition of two matrices. That is, the time complexity of addition of two matrices using step count is 2mn plus 2m plus 1 is the time complexity. Then next interesting example we can discuss, that is the step count for the recursive sum of array elements. In previous example we make a algorithm, we discuss the algorithm that makes the traditional addition of all the array elements. Now we can discuss an recursive algorithm to make the addition of all the array elements. Then here is an algorithm to make an addition of all the recursive sum for given array elements, as algorithm R sum, recursive sum, parameters as a of n, and if the n is less than 0 then directly return value as 0. If the number of elements are less than or equal to 0, directly return some value as a 0, otherwise else return, make call to this recursive function as recursive sum a comma n minus 1 plus a of n. This is a recursive function, and this is a recursive function to make the addition of all the array elements. The step count for this recursive sum array elements. Then in the second column, first you have to identify which are the executable statements or expressions. Then the first one is 0, second one is 0. Then if n is less than or equal to 0 is an executable statement, makes the value as 1. Return 0 0 is again an executable statement or expression, make it as a 1. Then else return, and recursive sum a into n minus 1 plus a of n is a executable statement, and make it as 1 plus x, where x indicates how many times you are making you are recursively making call to this function. Then once you are making call to this function, 1 plus x indicates how many times you are making call to this recursive function. The next you have to calculate the frequency. Here we are calculating the frequency. You have to consider two possibilities, whether n value is equal to input size is equal to 0, exactly equal to 0, or input value is greater than 0. Then if input value is n equal to 0, then this recursive function will be called at least once, and it will check what is the condition and it will return the some value. That is, if the n value is 0, then this function will be called once, and if n value is less than or equal to 0, then it will return value as the 0. That's why this will be executed at least 2 unit time is required when the input size is 0. Otherwise, if the input value n is greater than 0, then first you have to check this condition. If the n is less than 0, then if this condition is false, it will directly jump to the else part, and here it will make recursive call as recursive sum a comma n minus 1 plus a of n. That's why its frequency is 1. It will make call to this function at least 1. And the last column will actually makes the total step count. Then total step count when n is equal to 0 is 1 and 1, that is 1 plus 1, it is 2, and the total step count when the input size n is greater than 0 is 1 into 1 plus x equal to 2 plus x, where x is equal to the total recursive time required, time required to recursively complete the execution of any given algorithm, where x is the time required to recursively complete the execution of any given algorithm. By this equation, now we realize that for every time complexity of every recursive function or the recursive sum function here with input size n is equal to 2 plus the time complexity of recursive sum n minus 1, that is at least 2 unit times are required to complete the execution of any recursive function plus the time complexity of recursive function n minus 1. Then for the next time you are make call to this function, then it takes 2 plus 2 plus time complexity of recursive sum n minus 2. Then for the next time it is 2 plus 2, it is 2 into 2. Likewise it will take 2 Likewise, it will take to terminate from the recursive function is n into 2 plus time complexity of recursive sum with input value as a 0. And when the input size becomes 0, it takes the 2 unit time to complete its execution as from this total step count. That's why it is 2n plus 2 is the actual time complexity to make a recursive sum of any array elements when the input size n is greater than or equal to 0. This is an time complexity. 2n plus 2 is a time complexity for the recursive sum of array elements when the input size n is greater than or equal to 0.